so much expected for this particular series because with the performance by Chirag, the Gandhi's performance, it felt like I have seen n number of Gandhis in these 70 years of cinematic experience. Chirag felt so authentic. The way he looks, the prosthetics and stuff. He was to be honest, after Hiram's Gandhi, he was too closer to Gandhi.
No,
What
but
went behind the story?
Chirag has very little prosthetic because he's actually just wearing a. We made him shave his head, but there are
Okay.
times we've had to. This is just for the continuity. But
Mm-hmm.
in terms of prosthetic, he's just got the nose and the bald piece. But
Okay.
his ears and this everything else. I mean, the Chirag, I made him when he came. He was 72 kilos. I made him reduce to 56 kilos. When he rapped, he took a video and he said, "I am now eating a cake after 2 years." You know, so for
Yes.
2 years he had no this thing. He was not allowed. He was on a nutritionist was sitting next to him, making sure that he does not do any kind of cheating to his diet.
Because it was all over a complete transformation when it comes to portrayal of Gandhi, and that particular scene, the intro scenes where Chirag and others he faces the people, it was completely different. And I just thought of asking you this, sir. With trailer, uh, even with partition of India, there are so many scenes to have it in a trailer. But you chose that this one particular scene where the complete congressman thought that it's Sardar Patel, and Gandhi had this gave him the
Yeah,
withdrawal
yeah. The
nomination
withdrawal
too.
of nomination scene.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
withdrawal
No,
of
the trailer,
nomination.
it's a drop. So
Yes,
right now, three drops have come. The trailer will come now. In a couple of
yes.
days, the trailer will come.
We all know that only because of Patel we had this Union of India, because he is the one
Yeah, the Republic. The
who
Republic was
traveled.
formed by
Yes,
Patel. 565 states. Yes.
who ruled over, who traveled all over India to connect each and every state.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
Having this particular scene as a trailer cut, was there any intention behind that, sir?
Yeah, totally. Because if because the story of the partition of India in 2024, will they tell us the truth that actually Patel was going to be the prime minister and Gandhi gave it to Nehru, right? Now the scene is there in the show and very clearly it's actually only half the scene. The rest second half of the
Hmm.
scene I've not shown you in the trailer. It's there in the show where you actually see that the only person who voted for Nehru amongst all the Congress people was actually Sardar. He was very clear that Nehru will become the prime minister. Okay. So I would not have chosen not to show you that part of the scene. But the thing is that, the I want to be able to talk about the fact that there were several events that that defined that period of 15 to 16 months from direct action day to the death of Gandhi, which actually led to the which actually led to what our history is all about, right? And I want to be, I think Danish Khan of the Danish of Sony and Shogato of Sony and myself were very clear that let's open with this so that people will understand that we are not shying away from telling you what needs to be told. We'll tell you this, but we'll also tell you that Nehru was instrumental in certain aspects of it. Gandhi was basically saying so. The show is about the three great men of this country who basically one was an ideological person, the other one was pragmatic and saying ki on the ground this is the reality. Lahore is burning, Calcutta is being massacred. People are unsure and fear are angry and scared, and we need to understand that partition is inevitable. While Nehru is being torn apart between these two men, right? So that is was very important for me to understand ki why here is a Nehru basically saying ki Gandhi bhi right hai or Sardar bhi right hai. And where do I fall and what do I do and how do I balance this and how do I uh, be the take the correct decision? How do I be the mediator? So therefore it became very important that that's why the log line of the show is the history you may know, but the history
You
you
should.
should, right? आपने शायद इसके बारे में सुना था. Maybe you have heard this, right? But let me tell you what really happened.
Yes, for instance, like we have heard multiple times, when the world sleeps, India away this
Yeah,
particular dialogue. But
to light and
in this,
freedom. Yeah.
we are gonna see not a fictional one, but what happened in exact in the history, and uh, even even
But
for the
I'm
party.
saying that I'm saying that even I am not saying that it's a documentary.
Hmm. Okay.
There is at the end of the day, I need the audience to watch 15 episodes of my show. So I have tried to make it as compelling and as riveting as possible. There is a, if you see the show, there is a time clock. There is a tick, tick,
Hmm.
tick, 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 tick. If you see the promotion also, there's constantly a clock that is ticking because
Hmm.
from 16th August 1946 onwards, there was a clock that was ticking that was leading you to take the decision that India will be partitioned. And I want to remind people of it, that these very incredible men actually took very difficult decisions at an incredible time.
This year we had your Veda movie. Veda, for instance, had this. The main plot had this caste-based issues that's much prevalent in India. But it's the same time in India we see even after we have Partition of India series in a week. At the same time, we see caste-based atrocities and caste-based news on daily in news. How do
Yes.
you see this? Are we moving towards a progressive nation, or with the advancement in technologies, we are getting just exposed to our caste brutalities?
That's a very interesting question and a very interesting statement. You're right. You're right that if it was not the not modern technology, not social media, not the ability uh, for me to be able to read about incidents and horrific incidents that are happening all across India, I would not possibly know about what is happening all across India. It was much easier to hide these kind of things earlier. Now it is much more difficult. So it's a very interesting question. And are we a progressive? Of course, we've progressed in so many incredible areas, but we still seem to be uh, I wouldn't say regressive. I would definitely say that we still need to do a lot of more work as far as caste discrimination is concerned, as far as women are concerned, respect to women are concerned, as far as children and how and rearing and nurturing of children are concerned, right? We still need to, we definitely need to understand uh, what the real reason, the real meaning of patriotism is. Today, patriotism is just being thrown, is a word that is being thrown for political these things and for whatever. But so I feel that yes, we are definitely progressing in a lot of areas, and we should be very proud of the areas that we have progressed in terms of science and technology and literature and lots of finance and lots of and business, right? Um, but I think that casteism and caste discrimination is a stigma that is 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 years old, and we need to have make concentrated efforts. Gandhiji used to always say that, I mean, he coined the term Harijan, you know and Ambedkar was a father who was the chairperson of the drafting committee for the constitution. You know, I think that they would be pretty ashamed with what is happening still in India.
In this particular decade, we had so many politically strong movies, be it Article 370, Buster the Naxal story, even for instance Veda. At the same time, as you said, we are also receiving movies which are either propaganda or which falls under patriotism, but but in a critical point of view, we can't say it's a good movie. The complete target audience is to make sure that they forget the real incidents in India. Will this mix be always, be it in Bollywood or any industry? Because we see movies that are critical about the system, about the society, but those movies are not well received. At the same time, we see movies that are made just to instinct the uh, fear and blood of the human, but those movies are well received in India. How to take this, because you have been in this industry for so many years? How do you see this?
I feel that that is I really feel that is a very, very strong outcome of India being a democracy. You're allowed to do what you want to do. You're allowed to say
Hmm.
what you're allowed to have a point of view. And I think that the what the show, the men in the show, whether it is Gandhi, whether it is Nehru, whether it is Ambedkar, whether it is Sardar Patel, whether it is Sarojini Naidu, they wanted you to be a citizen of the greatest democracy in the world, which therefore allows you to basically say what you want to say and how you want to say it and
Hmm.
why, right? I should not, if by me saying that I don't, and at the same time, I should be allowed to say this is propaganda,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
I should be allowed to do that. This is my right to be freedom of expression. That is this, and I cherish that. And so, I mean, how do I don't have a. I mean, I think that there are incredible filmmakers, whether they are indie, documentary,
Hmm.
uh, slightly off the missing, more serious. Article 15 is an incredible example. Mulk is an incredible. Anubhav Sinha today
Yes.
is a
Anubhav
shining
Singh.
example of this. Hansal Mehta is a brilliant example. Kanura Kashyap has been doing it for years. Sudhir Mishra has been doing it for years, right? Adur, Gopal Krishnan, and Mani Kaul, and Saeed Mirza. And so, but there will always be mainstream, and there will always be, the more thought-provoking cinema. And I think that as filmmakers and as storyteller, it is our job to try and push our stories also. For that's the reason why I chose to make Veda the way I chose to make Veda. Right? Try to make it as mainstream as possible, so that what normally would have been a very, very small indie film gets
Hmm.
watched by more people, right?
Yes, to be honest, you had in the earlier days you made more of comedy sort of movies, and these 2 years, if you see Veda and Partition India, it's completely grim faced, man, because you need to have lots of research. You can't make some fun and stuff. Uh, which do you like the most?
Yeah, I
Uh,
actually, after D-Day in
hmm.
2013, I have actually very significantly moved towards
Yes.
doing films which are telling stories which have a strong foundation in some kind of event or reality or some
Yes.
article or some. I feel that I'm 53, 50. Now I'm 53. Next year I'll be 54, I think. Yeah, 54. And I don't think that I want to only make cinema and tell stories which are superficial.
Hmm.
I want to be able to, until the time that there are platforms and studios that are willing to back my uh, 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 choice in what I want to say. I mean, Sudhir Mishra and Saeed Mirza and Kundan and Aziz, and these are the masters who I got to work with and who I got to understand what society, what the problems of society was, and what society should celebrate also. And I had to move away from that because primarily because I got married, I had to obviously think about uh, career.
Hmm.
But today, after we have been able to establish MA Entertainment, and we have been doing films like Airlift and Mrs. Chatterjee versus Norway, or Rocket Boys, or Mumbai Diaries, or you know, uh, or Veda, or for that matter, Freedom at Midnight. Um, these are the kind of stories that I want to be able. I want to be proud. I want to sleep with pride, and not we are. I'm not here only for because filmmaking is the way I earn a living. I don't think that's important.
To the book, the two major criticisms about the book were even after its launch and all these days. Uh, there was always a criticism that this particular book is an westernized view. It's not about
Absolutely,
the
yes,
Indian view.
yes, yeah.
Uh, while writing the for the screen adaptation, this for your particular team, uh, did you try to change it from the westernized version to
Yes,
the
completely
Indian
changed.
version?
So
Okay.
while Freedom at Midnight, the Dominic Lapierre and Larry Collins is our
Hmm.
source material, and
Yes.
and we have used the book very extensively for the events that
Hmm.
took place August 16th, 1946, and
Hmm.
and 30th January 1948. the gaze and the point of view is not the white man's gaze and white man's point of view, right? Which is the Western or the also called the westernized point of view. The gaze is from the point of view of
Yes.
incredible men taking
Okay.
incredible decisions at an incredible time.
70 years have passed. These days, in the two in social media, we see criticisms on Gandhi, we see criticisms on Nehru, we see lesser criticisms on Patel, we see more criticisms on Ambedkar. Uh, how do you see this? Uh, you have traveled around 2 years with this particular scripts and book, this particular book. Uh, which decision do you think that could have been changed a lot better, or do you think that's the best for the time?
Oh, I have chosen to stay away from politics. Yeah. I've chosen I've chosen to. I mean,
Yes.
considering we're talking about Congress and Muslim League, right?
Hmm.
I don't think that there can be. I think it's undeniable that Gandhi was an ideological giant, right?
Hmm.
I think it's undeniable that Nehru was instrumental in the negotiations that led to the independence of India. I think that Patel was very driven and took very tough decisions at a time that nobody else was willing to take those kind of decisions. So uh, the show, the log line of the show, other than the history that you may know and the history you should know, is for me while writing was the sacrifice of many and the ambition of one,
Hmm.
right? So here you have the Congress, and here you have Jinnah, and here you have, and which led to the partition of India. And so, of course, there are criticisms, and do I feel and I hope it's not only feel, I hope that the young audience watches Freedom at Midnight and understands the difficult decisions that these men had to take, and hopefully then they'll be able to assess those criticisms with a little more clarity.
Thanks much, sir. Thanks for your time. Really happy interacting with you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.